human-centric design has always been a part of workplace, but I think since the pandemic, there's just been a shift, and I think people are being more human when it comes to workplace design. So, yeah, I think it's more at the forefront now in a different way, but I think it's always been there. So I find collaboration a bit of a funny word, because I think every sector, every industry collaborates differently. So I think collaboration looks different to different people. So yeah, it isn't like a cookie cutter situation. And I think, again, since the pandemic, people are finding that collaboration has changed anyway within an industry. So yeah, it changes for everyone. Yeah, so quite a few clients have started playing with the word flexibility. So it isn't, collaboration is constantly changing, and we're having to adapt our spaces constantly to kind of accommodate lots of different ways that we collaborate. So yeah, I think flexibility is key, especially at the moment, especially where companies are expanding and contracting their space quite a lot. So it's quite like a fluctuating climate at the moment. So I think, yeah, flexibility is definitely key. And then around that, there are kind of your anchor spaces. So you've got your town hall spaces or your tea points where people are starting to collaborate more. It's not just for birthday cake or beers on a Friday, it's for collaboration as well now. So yeah. It depends what you mean by traditional, because I feel like cellular, in terms of how traditional it was, in some ways we're going back to that because people are needing to take more calls and, you know, take part in more meetings online. So I think cellular space is actually in quite high demand if you're participating. And open plan could kind of be traditional in some senses as well now, because I feel like we're needing more cellular space. So the open plan in some ways is kind of redundant now, but it still very much takes part in terms of general sort of working environment. A lot of people like to have an open plan, sort of semi-collaborative, buzzy noise environment. So yeah, it depends what you mean by traditional. Yeah, so since the pandemic, a lot of us have kind of, our humanness has come back. And with that, the residential side has come to the forefront as well, because we're all, whether you are now, at some point, we were all pretty much working from home. And it's impossible to kind of be in denial that it hasn't like taken a step into workplace, and that goes for hospitality as well. I think workplace is a real kind of evolution. It's going through its own evolution at the moment, where all of those things tie in, because we spend so much time at work/working that, yeah, you can't not kind of incorporate those other elements. Apart from flexibility, or as well as flexibility really, I think it's having a space that truly reflects their values. So it kind of goes beyond a space that has their like branding and marketing sort of face. It's more a space that embodies their culture and their values, because I think that's what's really important to the employees now, that if they're going to be in that space, it needs to really embody who the company are. Yeah, I think all of our clients have some sort of sustainability principle that they want to achieve. So whether it's, even if it isn't like a LEED or a BREEAM, it's still, we still have these principles that we want to abide to. So whether it's a British designer or whether it's just your timber is British oak or whatever, then yeah, there's definitely a client side yeah, to the sourcing of the materials, definitely. We kind of have our own internal, actually before we were a B Corp as well, we had our own sort of internal sustainable goals. So especially since becoming a B Corp, it's completely integrated into all of our decision making, is where it's sourced, who it's sourced by, who those like suppliers, kind of what the ripple effects are of our decisions essentially. We've always been sustainable, we've always tried to be sustainable. So it's just the B Corp thing is great, but it's trying to get our suppliers to embody it as well. So it's a whole chain of events.